Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back. In today's video, we are going to be talking about all of the makeup products I believe to be very beginner friendly. Makeup can be a little bit intimidating when you're just kind of starting to dip your toes into the pool of makeup. So I kind of wanted to just lay out a few products. Most are inexpensive, but there are a few that I think are worth the investment. And I just want to lay them out for you guys who are new to your makeup journey so that you don't get too overwhelmed with everything that is out there. I have drugstore and high-end. I think that makeup is something that you should want to invest in. I think that the price of something doesn't always speak for the quality of it, but I do think what I have in this collection, what is expensive, is worth it. It's worth the money that you're going to spend on it because it's just that great of a product. So let me quit rambling because I'll just keep going on and on if I don't cut myself off. But if you are interested in seeing what I believe are very good beginner-friendly products, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm going to work through the products the same way that I work through my actual makeup. So I'm going to start with eyes first. I'll leave like chapters so that if you are not into brows or you're not into eyeshadow or you're not into base, you can just kind of switch around and click whichever one that you are the most interested in. But I am going to start with eyes today. I only have one eyeshadow palette when it comes to beginner-friendly eyeshadows because eyeshadow is kind of subjective. I mean, all of this stuff is very subjective, you know? You might like really colorful eyeshadows. I prefer a little bit more nude, neutral eyeshadows. So the palette that I'm going to show you is a very good starter nude eyeshadow palette. But I know that there are definitely others that you can, you know, research and look into that are going to be a little bit more colorful. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon palette in the shade Call Me Sunshine. These shadows are so blendable. This palette is like $6 or something like that. It's very inexpensive and the shadows are so good. They will work so well with a beginning makeup hand. They blend themselves. They don't take a lot of work. They're very pigmented and they don't like wash away with each blend of the brush. You know, they really stand true on your eyes and they really will create such a gorgeous smoky eye or cut crease or whatever you're really going for. I use this palette quite frequently. When you are thinking of a beginner-friendly eyeshadow palette, you want to think of a palette that's very pigmented and that is very easily blendable. I think those are the two main things that if you're just starting out with makeup, that's what you want to look for. And this palette is definitely one that has that. It has transition shades, it has darker shades, it has shimmers, it has lighter shades, it has truly everything that you could need in one small palette. The next two things that I have are also for eyes, but more towards like eyebrows and not so much eyeshadow. The first one is this ColourPop Boss Brow Eye Pencil. I have mine in the shade Blonde. I don't know why I had to tell you that. It's kind of unimportant and irrelevant in what I'm saying. This is a very good eyebrow pencil. If you're new to eyebrows and you don't really know how to do them, I mean, I've been doing makeup for like 8 years, 10 years. No. How long have I been doing makeup? Yeah, literally almost like 10 years I've been doing makeup and I still, to this day, don't know how to do my eyebrows. I think that I do, and I kind of fake it until I make it when it comes to my eyebrows. But this pencil has definitely helped me shape and really get my eyebrows done the way that I think that I like them. It's very forgiving, it's not too pigmented, because when it comes to an eyebrow pencil, you don't want one that is too dark. You want one that's going to be pretty light and almost look like a shadow so that your brows don't look like stark rectangles on your face, unless that's what you're going for. If you're going for that, you probably have a product that you know and love, so stick with that. If you are just starting out and you want to kind of try to shape your brows a little bit more than they already are, this is a good pencil to use. It's very inexpensive. I've been through like 3 of these. It has a spoolie on the end. It's very good. Very good pencil. The other product that I have for brows is my Anastasia Brow Gel. And I know that you guys are probably like, a beginner doesn't need this. Well, they do. And hear me out. If you don't want to use something like this, and if you are embracing your natural brows, which if you want to do, I fully support, this is a great product. You can just run this through your natural brows and be on your way. And this is going to hold your brows all day. All day it's going to hold your brows. It's not going to make them crunchy like some brow gels do. This is so good if you don't want to do all the steps that go into doing your brows that some people do. Definitely a good beginner-friendly product. All right, now we're going to move on to face products. These are a little bit more subjective. And I know I used that word before when it came to the eyeshadow, but these are really subjective because not all of our skin tones are the same. We all have different skin tones, different textures, different issues, different things that we want to control, whether it be oil or dry skin. We are all very different, and that is okay. So these are things, if you have any kind of skin, I think they would be good for you. I don't think there's a product in here that would emphasize any texture or that would emphasize any dry patches on your skin. I think these are very good middle of the road products that anyone can use. I'm going to start with cream products because I do firmly believe that even if you are oily, you can use cream products and you can use them to your advantage. I use cream products and I am an oily pig. Okay, I am an oily girl and I use cream products and they work fantastically on my skin, but that is because I've tried quite a few and have found the ones that actually work for me. And the ones that I have here are ones that you cannot mess up. You can't put them on your face and have it look bad. If you're new hand working with a brush, I think that these are gonna be your best friend. The first one that I have that actually started this entire thought process for this video is this Say Sun Melt Natural Cream Bronzer, and I have mine in the shade Light Bronze. This product is honestly a godsend, I believe, because no matter how much of this I pack on, no matter how much I put on my brush, no matter how much I layer on my face, this never looks overdone, it never looks cakey, and it never settles into my skin and makes it look like it isn't blended out. I can always blend this out to whatever lengths that I need to blend it out to. This is such a beginner friendly product. It offers such a gorgeous cream bronze. This is one of the products in my list of beginner friendly products that is on the more expensive side, but there is so much product in here. I've used this several times and I have not even made a dent in it. And I also think that it is worth the money because it's so good. I haven't found anything that blends and works the same way that this cream bronzer works and blends. I think that it's a fantastic product. It's so blendable, it's so forgiving, and it'll look good on anyone's skin. It's not gonna tug and pull. There's not gonna be weird patches on your face that look like it doesn't have any on it, because I've had some cream products do that to me, but this is very good. Moving on to a cream blush that I think anyone can work with. This is the e.l.f. Putty Blush, and I have mine in the shade Bahamas. It's a nice, gorgeous coral shade that, honestly kind of matches my shirt. I think that the e.l.f. Putty line is one that anyone can use. I think that the bronzer is, for me personally, a little bit harder to blend, but the blush, this blush is so good. All you need is your fingers and you can apply it wherever on your face that you want to apply the blush. It lasts a really long time and it gives you a very nice flushed color. There's no shimmer in it. I know that they do have luminous putty blushes. This is not one. This is the original e.l.f. Putty Blush, so it's not gonna emphasize anything, but it's just so stunning. And it's so easy to blend and it doesn't stick, it doesn't mattify quickly so that you don't have any time to blend it out. It's very good and it's inexpensive. So you can buy a few of these, wear them throughout the year. If you're someone who doesn't wear a foundation or really any kind of makeup and you just want to look for a blush that's going to give you a nice flush, this is the blush for you. Concealer. Can't go wrong with NYX Bear With Me concealer. This is so inexpensive. The shade range is pretty good and it's so good. It's so good. I feel like no matter what skin type you have, this is such a good concealer. I have very large pores around my nose area and I have very oily skin, and even though this is a concealer serum, it still lasts all day and it's not slimy and gross, it's a very good thin concealer. I feel like the consistency of concealer when it comes to beginners and makeup is very important. If you're a beginner and the first concealer you pick up is pretty thick, you might be a little bit discouraged to try more. They're a little bit harder to make work, especially if you're putting it on top of a foundation. It might start to look cakey and it might start to emphasize things that you don't want to emphasize, so that's why I think this is really good. It's very thin. I think that thicker concealers are kind of phasing out anyway. Makeup companies have found a way to really pack a lot of punch in their concealers and offer a lot of coverage while being, very thin. This is definitely one of those, and the Lancome Teint Idole, which I use all the time, is another one of those. This is another product, again, that you can use your fingers with. You don't have to have any special products to make it work. You can just use your fingers. So as you guys have probably noticed, I didn't include a foundation in this list just because foundation is, like I say over and over again, it's very subjective. Different people have different things and different concerns when it comes to their faces. I think that whatever you have that you know works for you, you should just continue to use. Try out different things. Know what kind of skin type you have. If you have oily skin, look for more mattifying and blurring. If you have dry skin, look for more hydrating and glowy, you know. If you have combo skin, you can really look for anything you want. It's way more subjective than really any other makeup foundation, so that's why I didn't choose to add any of them in here. Okay, powders. I only have a few powders because I feel like we are in an age of creams and powders aren't as utilized as much as creams are, but I just have like a nice setting powder, a bronzer, and then a blush palette because I think blush palettes are so incredible. I'm gonna start with this Essence Brighten Up banana powder. This is an insanely good setting powder for the price that you pay. I think this is like $5, but it's very finely milled, so no matter what you put it on top of, you're not gonna look cakey. Right? If you're a beginner and you just don't know where to powder, so you just powder all over your face, which is totally something that you can do, it's not going to add another layer onto your foundation or to your skin that's going to look like makeup-y. You know, it's going to look very natural looking. Bronzer. This probably won't come as a surprise to you guys if you've seen any of my other videos. This is like my favorite bronzer of all time. It is sadly on the more expensive side, but again, I think it is worth the money that you pay for it. This is the Fenty Sunstalker bronzer. No, let me read the full name to you guys because you know all of Rihanna's products have very long names. It is the Sunstalker Instant Warmth Bronzer in the shade Shady Biz. What can I say about this bronzer that I haven't already said? It is, first of all, I've used this like several times and I have yet to hit pan. Like I haven't even made a dent at all. You do not need a lot when you use this. However, if you do use a lot, it's not going to look like you're using a lot. And what I mean by that is you can go in and pack as much as you want of this on your face. It's not going to look like, one, you are orange, which, you know, bronzer can sometimes do, but it's also not going to look like you have a bunch of powder on your face. The shade range that she has created for not only this product, but all of the products in Fenty Beauty is so amazing. And that's another reason why I wanted to include it on this list, is because I think anyone can find a bronzer that will work for them in Fenty Beauty, whether it be a cream bronzer, because she does have cream bronzers, or a powder bronzer. This one in particular, though, is a favorite of mine because it is so forgiving. It's such a forgiving bronzer. Bronzer is a little bit harder, you know, to work with if you're a beginner because I feel like it's very easy to go overboard with it. I know that when I was young and in 8th grade, all I did was I used bronzer like it was foundation. Let's be honest. I used bronzer like it was foundation. And if you want to do that, by all means, go ahead and do it. But might I suggest using this one to do that with? I think it's really going to complement every skin type out there. I think that it's really going to make you look effortless rather than like you're wearing a lot of makeup. Even if you do pack a lot of this on, it's not going to look cakey and overdone, which is part of the reason why I love it so much. I definitely think that it's worth the money that you spend on it, and I do believe if you're a beginner, there is room for this in your makeup kit. All right, blush. Blush, again, subjective. This is just a palette I know that works for me and that is very beginner friendly, for lack of other words. But there is a lot of different, you know, colored blushes in this blush palette. You have very light pale blushes, and then you have a bit more corally red blushes, which I think is great. It's a very inexpensive palette. It's by Makeup Revolution. It was a collab that they did with someone, I don't know who, but it's a Makeup Revolution Roxy Blush Burst palette. I'm pretty sure they still sell it in Ulta. Let me just make sure really quick. So it still is available on Ulta. I had to double check because I didn't want to sell you on something that you can no longer get your hands on, but it is still available on Ulta. It's $15, which I think is a steal for the amount of blushes that you get, no matter what mood you're feeling or no matter what eye look you do, because that's kind of how I base my blush, is what my eye look looks like. But no matter what look you are going for, you have a blush that will complement you. Some of these I can't use, like I don't think I've ever used this one before, or maybe I have, honestly, and I'm just being a liar. But there's also a mix of shimmer blushes, like highlighter topper blushes, and then matte blushes in here, which I think is cool. I never use the shimmer ones because I don't use highlighter because it really just does not work with my skin type. But if you're into that, you can have the best of both worlds in this palette. The blushes are very forgiving. Again, it is easy to go overboard with this. However, if you take another clean brush and you go to blend it out on your face, you're going to be able to work with it. You know, it's not super intimidating to the point where it's set in stone wherever you put the blush. It's it is very easy to work with. You can have a lot of fun with this palette. Okay, next up is lips, and I have got everything that you could possibly need for lips if you're a beginner. So I am going to start out with lip liners. I'm not going to give you guys shades just because you guys will know what shades you want based on who you are. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that these are the shades that you need if you're a beginner, but I want to show you which ones I think are really good if you are just starting out with makeup. They are all NYX lip liners. NYX has quite a few different kinds of lip liners, and I have like one of each. I'm gonna share with you guys what they are, but NYX is a very good brand for anything, like for any makeup product that you might need. NYX is a fantastic brand. They're very inexpensive and their products are very good. Don't overlook NYX just because they're a drugstore brand. If you're a beginner and you want to build kind of a kit, definitely start out with some NYX products. The lip liners that I have are the regular just lip pencil. This is just a NYX lip pencil. Then this one is the retractable lip liner. This one's really, really good, really creamy, very easy to wipe away if you feel like you put it in the wrong spots. And then my favorite out of all the lip liners that NYX have are the suede matte lip liners. These are a bit more expensive, not like astronomically, but they are more expensive than the other ones because they are matte long wearing lip liners. The other two last for a pretty long time, but this is the best of the best. I mean, they're lip liners. What else can I say about them? They're very pigmented, they're very creamy, and they're very easy to draw with. I know some pencils you can kind of like mess up very easily with them. They're like a little bit like slippery, but these are really good. They're not too hard to where you can't get anything on your lips because it feels like you're drawing with an actual pencil that you use in school. These are just very good. They're very beginner friendly, you know. You can definitely work up to like MAC lip liners and artist color pencils from Makeup Forever if that is something that you want to do. But if you're just starting out and you are figuring out what works for you, whether it just be lipstick, lip gloss, or all three, lip liner, lip gloss, and lipstick, the NYX lip pencils are very good to start out with. The next products are just some bullet lipsticks. I didn't include any liquid lipsticks in here. I don't think that I have tried a beginner-friendly liquid lipstick, and that's not to say that if you are a beginner, you shouldn't try liquid lipsticks. By all means, try whatever you want to try, but liquid lipsticks are a little bit less forgiving than bullet lipsticks. They are very matte and they dry down very quickly, and it is a bit harder to get them off if you make a mistake, because we all make mistakes. It happens. But I didn't include them because I don't recommend, if you're just getting started with makeup, I don't really recommend liquid lipsticks. I think bullet lipsticks are the way to go. If you are, you know, dead set on trying liquid lipsticks, definitely check out the Fenty Beauty Stunna lip paints. They're fantastic, wear beautifully, and they're so comfortable on the lips. But if you just want to get into, you know, lipsticks and you don't know what you want to use yet, definitely recommend these two. These are the Maybelline like matte lipsticks, and then these are the Milani Lip Fetish lipsticks. Both of these are fantastic. The shade range is very good and they wear so nicely. They're not going to dry out your lips like a liquid lipstick might. They are pretty creamy, but they will dry down to a semi-matte. They're very comfortable to wear. They're very easy to clean up if you find that you go over your lips, you know, a little bit and you don't want it to look the way that it looks currently. They're very easy to clean up. I know that we all love our liquid lipsticks, but I will never stop using bullet lipsticks. They're just so good and they feel so good on the lips, you know? Definitely recommend those two brands. They're very inexpensive, worth the money that you spend on them, and definitely beginner friendly. The final product that I want to talk about for lips, and I think this is the final product out of all of them, is the NYX Butter Gloss. This is such a cult like classic and such a fan favorite for a reason. It is so good. If you are someone that doesn't want to wear a whole bunch of stuff on their lips and they just want to put some gloss on and go, this is the gloss that you should use. It's what I'm wearing right now on my lips, and I am not someone who likes gloss. Up until recently, I tried this out. Well, I tried it out like a while ago, a few years ago, and I just kind of fell out of love with all glosses in general, but I tried this out and I haven't been able to stop wearing it. It's not too tinted. You know, there's a lot of different shades, but it's not too tinted to where it's gonna look like you're wearing a lip cream or like a lip stain. It's not too sticky. It's a good middle of the road gloss. It's very inexpensive, and I think that if you are just getting into makeup, just getting into like doing your lips the way that you want to do them and figuring out what you like, this will be a great addition to your lip family collection. So that is it for my list of beginner friendly products. If you are a beginner, this is not like a set in stone list that you have to go out and buy. I want to make that very clear. You can pick up whatever you want to pick up. Whatever you have been eyeing recently or that you want to get your hands on, go and get it. Makeup is fun, it's subjective, do whatever the heck you want to do. This video is just for someone who is looking for a little bit more guidance and really doesn't know where to start when it comes to makeup. So take whatever you want, whatever resonates with you, go forth into the universe with it. That is it for today's video. I hope that you all enjoyed. Make sure that if you have not already, that you like the video and that you are subscribed and that you hit the little bell so that you're always notified when I upload a new video. And I think that's it for today. I hope that you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in my next one.